Let's talk about a darker heart of the matter, and that is Mountainhead. This is a new film from Jesse Armstrong, his first project since Succession ended almost 2 years ago. This is about 4 tech entrepreneurs, CEOs, moguls, leaders of the world of different stature, for sure, and we could get
different
into that.
sectors as well.
Literally different sizes of human being, too. And
it has some West alumni,
yes,
which is funny.
It does.
True.
It does. They're on a little retreat, I think, in Utah at this gorgeous house. They are called the Brewsters.
The Brewsters.
Clearly, they came up together or were connected and have split apart, with some finding more success than others. Some are billionaires, some are hundreds of billionaires, some are still stuck in the M's with the millionaires. Stars Jason Schwartzman, Cory Michael Smith, Steve Carell, and Ramy Youssef. And shit goes haywire when Cory Michael Smith, who's kind of like the Elon Musk character, his social media platform that just had an update, is causing disinformation, misinformation, deep fakes, driving the world into an absolute frenzy. But these guys are chilling out in this retreat. Ramy Youssef's character has an AI that could clean this up, but he's not sure if he wants to sell it to Cory Michael Smith's character because he's a piece of shit. And
also, it's helped. Like his stock value is rising as shit gets worse.
Right.
Yeah,
as his product has more value.
Yeah.
We'll get into Mountainhead. First of all, I don't think the three of us have ever talked about Succession because the Schmearcast came post-Succession. I think we definitely would have covered it back then. What do we think about Succession and its legacy and Jesse Armstrong as a writer?
Well, I think you just had your $1 million idea for the first offshoot podcast in the Schmearcast media conglomerate, which is the Succession watch-along pod.
Strong pitch.
Do a rewatch in 10 years or something. No, I fucking love Succession. I think it's one of the best shows of the 21st century. And I think it has some of the best writing on television, and I think it has one of the greatest ensemble casts in television history. I absolutely love Succession, and I've loved everything that Jesse Armstrong has. This is not about Mountainhead. I've loved everything that Jesse Armstrong has touched up until Succession, and then I have some other thoughts on Mountainhead. As
I try to collect my Succession thoughts, I realize just how stupid it is to talk about it, because you're just like, yeah, Succession's the fucking greatest. Like,
I just have that written down.
I felt stupid even say. I'm like, what do you even
goated.
say?
I literally have typed, it is...
It's goated with the fucking sauce, Brewsters.
Yeah.
I mean...
Schmearsters, baby.
Santa, what do you think about Succession?
It's just like one of the greatest to ever do it. You know, I think a lot of people will think about the last 10, 15 years in TV, and they'll say like Game of Thrones, or they'll say whatever. But I think that a lot of people will say Succession. Like, if you know, like Succession is the one. It just doesn't let up. It's just 10 out of 10, beginning to end. Small dips in quality, but you just can't beat that kind of writing. You can't beat that kind of acting. It's really good.
So Jesse Armstrong, people have been wondering what's he going to do next. He pulls together this film in a very short amount of time. I think this filmed like at the end of last year and was in post-production at the beginning of this year.
I think it shot for 10 days.
Really?
12.
Easy, one location. Like, they knocked this thing out.
Just some boys cooking in the stew, really.
Great actors. Some producers on this that worked with him on Succession. So kind of like a Succession light, like the team's back together a bit, and definitely the topic and topics are timely. But what did you guys think of Mountainhead?
It was pretty good. It was all right.
Yeah.
Had some moments.
Yeah, say more, Senna.
I'd love it if you'd start, Jesse.
You want me to start?
I'd love that.
I've been dominating the airtime.
You're back. We're happy to have you back. Me and Gabriel have been talking to each other for weeks.
Listen, I think this movie started really, really high for me. Felt like I was back in the confident hands of Jesse Armstrong, another filmmaker in his 50s who I want to hold me. We can unpack that on the Schmear After Dark pod.
Dude, your girlfriend listens to this podcast.
Yeah, does she? I don't know if she listens. No.
Coddled and swaddled by the best filmmakers.
No, it started really high. I thought the 4 performances, which we can get into a little bit more, were just really awesome, and I was laughing my ass off in the beginning, and then about 20 minutes in, it started to dip in quality for me. It felt like an endurance test, and then 40
You knew
minutes
where it was going.
Yeah, it felt like I knew where it was going, and
You're
then
running on E about 40 minutes in, yeah.
Yeah, I was just a little tired by the end, and I just kind of was left with a really bad taste in my mouth, which I think the best satire does that but makes you think, and this just kind of made me look at the world and look at the push notifications that literally were coming into my phone while I was watching the movie.
That note. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, this is just really bleak, and I don't know exactly what it's saying besides billionaires bad. You know?
You don't think that's enough of a statement as is? Because it is kind of true. It's not just billionaires bad, it's tech billionaires really bad.
Yeah, no, it is. It is a compelling statement, but it's one that, like, we're living every day and we know so well.
I gotta push back because I like this the most of the three of us. I had a really fun time, and I also thought it was bleak, Jesse, and I thought it was satire that's pretty on the nose. But I'm not sure if people, and maybe, yes, the audience for Mountainhead knows this because it is a type of person that watched Succession likely and is abreast of media conglomerates and tech changes and all that. But it's pointing to the naked ego and ambition and lack that these massive world-eating leaders have, I think is always a good target, and I think can be too easily forgotten when you're swept up by seeing net worths of these individuals and seeing what Elon Musk announces. You know, like, we think he's a doofus. A lot of people don't.
That's
and
totally
so, like,
true.
showing the vapidness, the stupidity of these types, I was down for.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm gonna follow up on that. I want to just set the scene a little bit in terms of who is who. So Steve Carell in this one plays, like, they call him Papa Bear. He's the older, kind of like established plutocrat, has a lot of ties in politics and energy. More
kind
traditional,
of a Peter Thiel type.
yeah,
I thought,
more
maybe.
traditional billionaire. Jason
Philosophy quoting.
Yeah, philosophy quoting.
Highfalutin.
Elder statesman motherfucker, right?
Yeah.
Cory Michael Smith is like the Elon Musk, like he's the richest out of all of them, has a social media app that he owns. Pretty on the nose comparison to a couple of people who you don't have to mention. Ramy Youssef is the AI guy, right? And then Jason Schwartzman, who is the least rich of them all. Soups, they call him. His real name is something European. They call him Soups because it's Soup Kitchen at $521 million, right? And you feel bad for him. What they're doing, and he's $521 million rich. What's interesting about this and this dynamic is that getting dropped into the middle of it and understanding how that level of wealth and achievement really does warp the minds and the realities around these kinds of people, because they're sitting there feeling really bad for how Jason Schwartzman is getting dicked on for his, meditation app, and he is richer than any of us could ever dream to be, and he's feeling so bad for himself. And I like that we're sitting there seeing how these people really talk, how lightly they make of the fact that people are dying by the millions. It's like
the dehumanization, the vocabulary that just reduces the world and its people to nothingness.
Less than ones and zeros.
I think that's accurate.
It is, and that's how these people fucking talk, right? And so, like, it's how they think. It really is, and I think that some people don't realize that. They really think that all of the marketing shit that they're doing about changing the world and driving human progress, these people are blood-sucking vampires that are sitting there thinking of how they can move the forces in a way that lands them in the best possible position, high enough on the totem pole that they can continue moving forward in the way that they see fit. And I think that's kind of one of its virtues, is that it's really showing people this is what they think of you. This is what they think of us. And to them, a coup is just like a FaceTime call, in a global South country. Yeah. That's how it is. That's what's happening. And so, and I agree, Jesse, that it can be hard for those of us that like already think of it like that and know it. But I don't think everyone does, and they might think that it's like a little far-fetched. But I thought that was cool.
Sen, are you on an encrypted network right now? Are you worried that the big bosses at the unnamed tech company that you're sitting in the office of right now are going to come after you when you're done talking today? I'm worried for you. So let's do a Find My Friends after.
If they want to come get me, if they want to black bag me, they can black bag me. I'm so low on the totem pole. I'm just one of the ones and zeros that they're talking about. Yeah.
No, listen, I totally get you guys. I very much agree that not everyone thinks. I mean, there are people that bow down to Elon Musk and think that he's like God's gift to this world. But, like you said, I'm just going to reemphasize this. I don't know that the people watching Mountainhead on Max, soon to be HBO Max, are those people. I think that the Succession audience likely probably are in line with how we feel about these people. But I agree, it's effective satire to a point. I just think that it ran out of steam for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you just feel like you just turned on, like, on YouTube, like the Mark Zuckerberg interview with Thiel Vaughn. You know, like, you're right. That it's just like, I think that's what people are not liking, that it's so on the nose that it just feels like you're just looking from one screen where this is happening to another screen where this is happening, and then back to all of it happening again in a way that
I don't really care, because I think it's really funny. I love all of these performers, and them getting to speak Jesse Armstrong's dialogue is a gift.
Yeah.
Cory Michael Smith?
I'm a simple man.
He was crushing it, dude. Oh my God.
Cory Michael Smith was put on this fucking earth to say
this role.
That opening scene. This is no spoiler. The opening scene, he's launching his new update for Tram, and he tweets "fuck" with 2 U's, and he's like, "Yo, I'm about to launch this new thing. I'm just gonna say fuck," and they're like hyping him up for it. It was
like, how about 3 U's?
Yeah.
He's like, I like 2. He's like, three.
Two's good. Two's good.
My favorite moment was when his baby comes to the resort.
God, that was dark.
And he has no idea what to do with his own child.
Puts him on the pavement.
There's Elon.
The
right
guys
there,
are watching
obviously.
from the window as he just plops the baby down on the cold stones of the driveway. And
tough.
he's just like, he's like holding his own shoulders, like shaking his head, just like no human instinct of what to do with his own child at all.
Crazy, yeah.
It was tough.
He thanks him like it's the end of a business meeting at the end. I appreciate your time.
Exactly.
This is an infant.
I thought Ramy carried. I thought Ramy
agreed.
was so.
I mean, he's the
good.
moral conscience of this, if there is one,
but
right?
he's not.
But he isn't.
But
Yeah,
he's not.
he's
That's
the
the best
good
part.
Right.
billionaire. But of course, I think Jesse wants us to believe there are no good billionaires.
Exactly.
And no spoiler, but by the end, you see Ramy's true color, Jeff's true colors.
You see it the whole time. The self-effacing, like, my net worth's higher than it's ever been, but people are dying, guys, but I'll still wear the captain's hat. Like, it's like, I get it. Like, that's good. I appreciated that.
Right. No, I thought each actor really did a great job. The one I wasn't sure about, honestly, but then was kind of my favorite by the end was Steve Carell.
Steve Carell won me over. I agree.
I really didn't get what he was about at the beginning, and then by the end, he was like the secret MVP of this. And it's not so secret. I mean, he's Steve Carell, but like in the beginning, he's so annoying. He's got that highfalutin speech. He really, you realize he just like is trying to live forever and upload his conscience to a network, and he thinks it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
just
desperation too.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's so pathetic by the end, and lest people think this is just dry tech speak. Like, the guy walks into a glass door at one point for, I thought, one of my biggest laughs of the thing.
Yeah.
At a moment you just needed something like physical in terms of comedy and stupid.
Yeah.
Because he has that like manic Brick Tamlin energy that came out by the end.
Right. It's a big year for walking into glass doors. It happened in Friendship. It happened in this, and I'm trying to think of some others, but I know it's happened in like two or three other things.
Gotta be a studio version of this,
Oh yeah,
right?
there's definitely something in the studio. It's just like people are kind of back on slapstick. That's a recession indicator, right?
Yeah,
Slapstick
nice. That's a good read.
in.
That's a good read. I like that one.
As awful as Steve Carell, the character, was, like, didn't he look so good?
He looked awesome.
Looked great.
When he unzipped his little like jet ski suit or his snowmobile suit, I was like, "Damn, Steve!
Yeah, Steve is in the game
He's
still."
looking tight.
Just not to pivot too far away, and I think this is great from Steve, is that like there are moments where he is so menacing and like bewildering, like when he's like actually sincerely mad, and then he does like a little face at the end to try to lighten it up. All of that stuff is like
He's like, kill.
No, he's like, stop being an asshole, stop it. And like he makes a little face to like act like he's like not so scared of his own mortality. It just, that stuff just worked for me, man. I just thought it was great.
I really like this, so that's why I'm kind of surprised by people being pretty mixed on it. I would say. I feel like Mrs. Schmier was watching last night, and she's like, they're annoying. I'm like, yeah, they are annoying. I find them really funny. You know, people are bumping on this. Jesse just said he is. Why do you think this is not working on people, since Succession is considered such a masterpiece for maybe the same exact audience?
Yeah, just too true. Just too true.
Yeah.
Just too of the moment. Right now, a lot of people are suffering, dude, and a lot of people are suffering because of people like this. Some of the jokes just can't land when you're so close to it, you know, and you feel so close to it. I guess it's not as funny, you know.
Well, I think that's very smart and perceptive of you, Senna, but I'm not sure if others are thinking that. Maybe they're feeling that.
I think they're feeling it
subconsciously.
I don't know, man. I mean, you see, they're just like living vicariously through these social media feeds of like people burning alive, and then you like look at your phone and there's people in multiple countries and conflicts around the world burning alive on our own. It's like, I do wonder if that's what people are bumping on. Like you're saying, Senna said, it's too true.
Yeah.
It's just like, sometimes it's honestly, I still haven't seen The Apprentice, the Donald Trump movie from last year, because at the time I was like, I just don't want to fucking sit with Donald Trump for 2 hours right now.
Yeah.
And now I kind of really do want to see it, knowing that those performances have been so lauded. But like, this movie made me laugh so hard for half of it, and then the other half I just kind of felt sick. And yes, that means that Jesse Armstrong did a good job. That means it was effective. He hit me where it hurt the most, but I just don't know how much patience I have for that right now.
You know what else I think? I think that for some people that maybe think about everything going on a different way, I talk to people and they're like, yeah, the writing just wasn't that like clever. It wasn't that good. And I was like, you don't understand that this is actually happening. Like I said before, like you don't understand this is actually who these people are. You think that I think some people think it's too ridiculous. They don't realize how close it is to the truth. Yeah. They're like, yeah, like who fucking talks like that about like up like the next stage of human evolution being digital and like being able to do it in 5 years. It's like they do.
Yeah.
Like they do.
Yeah. I think back to this, Jesse will know this, an incredible Ezra Klein podcast episode with Kara Swisher that was really about armchair psychologizing Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And I really just thought about that podcast, and I'll tell the listeners to check it out so much as I watch this, because everything she's saying is reflected here, like Senna, what you're saying of how these people conceive of themselves, how they dehumanize the global population, how they want to live forever. When you have that much money, those are the next frontiers. Like, that's it. Like, what else do you have to conquer besides the rest of the globe and death? That's it.
Space,
and so
new planets.
Yeah, that's also mentioned here. New Zealand bunkers, like, I think it's all accurate.
Is it all real?
Super silly? Yes, but I think it's on the money.
Yeah. All right, so on 3, Senna, unbutton that little Ted Baker crisp white shirt. Schmear, unbutton that thing. I'm going to unzip my quarter zip, and we're going to show our net worths. Ready? 3, 2, 1. And you see $1.50 written across my chest.
I have no money after Can.
Another thing people are saying, and I find this, we talked about lazy criticism with Wes. People are saying, well, this not so good, it just made me miss Succession. I'm like, you know what? We all miss Succession. Like, if this is all you can say about this, like, grow up, enjoy this product that came to us. Like, it's not so simple and easy that a multi-billion-dollar media company makes a movie making fun of the richest, most powerful people on Earth. Like, let's celebrate that and enjoy it, even if it does make us feel very bad.
Do you think that it's rich people satire fatigue?
I mean, definitely. But then you see that Friends and Neighbors bullshit be the most popular show of the summer, which was terrible.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I watched it.
I would prefer it in a sharp, mean 2-hour package than a 8-hour John Hamm series.
Fair.
I also just think it's a great sign for the industry that Jesse Armstrong whipped this thing together.
Yep.
Shot it in 10 days with an all-star cast and put it out on Max, like in TV movie format.
Yeah.
That's just something we haven't really seen a lot in the last decade, and I'm all for that. I am all for dropping little projects here and there just to keep us, satisfied.
Yeah.
In
and just to keep amazing actors doing fun roles and performances.
100%.
These types of projects, adult-centered fare, are great because they let Ramy Youssef, Cory Michael Smith, Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman be buffoons and assholes and play great characters. Like, it's just great to receive that.
Yeah.
I want to say, he's not some young up-and-comer. He's not some unknown that they found off the street. But the Cory Michael Smith train is leaving the station with great velocity right now.
Yeah.
So all
remind
fucking aboard.
listeners what he's been in.
Yeah, so Cory Michael Smith, I really first saw him in Todd Haynes' May December. He played like a fucked up stepson of Julianne Moore.
Who's in the band, right?
Yeah, he was in the band singing. I can't remember what song he was singing, but it was great. He was also in Carell. He had a small role in that. And he really got so two Todd Haynes projects. That's high praise, first of all. And then I think he kind of got more recognition for playing Chevy Chase in Jason Reitman's Saturday Night Live movie.
Yep, he crushed it.
You know, I don't know how many people saw that movie, but his performance was standout. And he's just so... He was also, by the way, on like 100 episodes of Gotham, a show that I've never watched. I think he played the Riddler. So this dude is like, again, it's not like he's some unknown entity, but all aboard because he's moving quickly.
Can we replace Glenn Powell with him?
Let's be respectful.
I like Glenn Powell. I think Cory Michael Smith has a bit more dynamism than Glenn.
Let's be respectful, everybody.
We are. I love Glenn.
Let's be careful. He's on my list of white men.
Glenn was the white boy of the year last year. I would argue.
No, white man.
Yeah, sorry, white man.
Differentiate.
I was the white boy of the year last year.
Exactly, Jesse.
No, but Cory Michael Smith, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And more roles for Ramy, please.
Oh my God, he crushes it every time.
All right, a fun little exercise before we move on to our last subject, adults. Did you guys think of anything Jesse Armstrong should go after or satirize next? Because I had an idea.
Dude, he has to get these fucking, like, clean energy, like, fake, like, non-profit.
But Mickey and Conrad did that
I
too
know.
well.
I know.
The ESG plot of industry.
The thing is, they did it great. I would love Jesse to scoop that subject matter up and explore it in different ways. Like, you know, I love the way the industry did it, and that's what made me think of it. I was like, Kit Harington was so fun. But, like, Kit Harington was, like, you know, upper crust. Like, it's very English, you know? I want the American version of these motherfuckers that are just lying through their teeth about making a better world. And I think that, like, kind of interplay of them actually having to have that veneer of altruism playing out, you know, like in Succession, these people are just like monsters the whole time. This one, they're monsters.
Right.
I love how in those industries they have to like kind of walk that line and know where and how to be actually their true selves. I think it could be so fun.
You're almost describing Mountainhead if it gets off the mountain.
Yes.
Which would have been really fun to see. And Jesse, you already mentioned like the snippets of moments before the four are together are really exciting to see these people in their natural habitat. I guess the Mountainhead itself is a natural habitat, so their unnatural habitat of having to be a benevolent ruler when you are just so callow inside. But Jesse, do you have an idea?
No, I didn't come up with anything great, honestly. I'm just like, between the election night episode of Succession and Mountainhead, I'm like, Jesse, how about...
It's been really well covered.
Let's do sports or something, man,
No,
please.
so my idea was sports.
Okay, great.
And it's like a satirizing of FIFA as an organization. Or like soccer on the world scale and all the politics that can be drawn into that.
Get the Saudis in there.
Definitely the Saudis. You get it on every level. You get the players, you get the coach of a team, you get the manager of the club, you get the heads of FIFA, maybe a World Cup. Like it's a World Cup satire.
That would be fucking great.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be awesome. Fun. And obviously, as an Englishman, I think I don't know what club he supports, but I'm sure he knows that world well.
Exactly.
Yeah. That could be cool. That's a good idea. Sure. Pitch him. Email him.
Maybe.